Hello, and here we are. Richard Nikoley, freetheanimal.com. Have tripod, will travel. So yesterday, because of a bit of an urgency, personal urgency, I did a 9.5-hour jaunt door to door from Rawai in Phuket to Pattaya beach via Bangkok, and then went out later in the evening for some food and to shoot some stuff for the video I'm going to do tomorrow. And I walked over 10 kilometers because I mapped it out. So I'm walking down towards the beach now. You can probably see it through there. It's just a couple hundred meters away. And I'm in search of a location. The subject of today's video is budget travel. You won't believe how cheaply I got here as compared to the way I've typically, and I suppose flippantly, traveled. But now that I'm on an austerity budget, I remembered how things were done way back in the day in the 80s. More on that later. And here's the beach road in Pattaya, and there is the panorama of the beach. And so now I find a place to sit down and tell you all about it. All right, this is the video that's so with some urgency on a personal matter, I jaunted out to Pattaya yesterday, and so this is about budget travel, because I am on an austerity budget, and so it's not the way I used to do things, or the way I've done things traveled over the last 2.5 years, but it is more kind of like the way I used to travel in the 1980s, all around Asia, but in particular here. From 86 to 90, I probably spent about the equivalent of maybe 4 months total in primarily here in Pattaya. And of course, a year and a half ago, I lived just the next beach over, called Jomtien, for 3 months until I found Rawai in Phuket, and I was like, I came back and I dumped my 20,000 baht deposit, which is about close to $700. Because why? I still had 9 months on my lease, so why stay in a place where you want so much better? So anyway, I came out here, probably a subject for another video to explain what that's all about. But so the door-to-door trip was about 9.5 hours, right? Because actually, it would have been, there used to be flights direct from Phuket to the old U.S. Navy Air Base, Utpao, and which is a Rayong. It's about 30 minutes from here. So you could get from here to Phuket and back in a couple hours, right? But now you have to go to Bangkok, and and where I live in Rawai, it's like, even a taxi is about 1.5 hours to the airport. It's a long island, and I'm at the southern tip, and the airport is at the north. So, but normally I'd take a taxi, and so that is typically around 1,000 baht. Now, for rule of thumb here, 100 baht's about $3. 1,000 baht's about $30. So that's about $30 taxi ride to the airport. The flight's going to be the flights. The flight from Phuket to Savannah-Bumi, the newer airport. There's 2 international airports in Bangkok. Savannah-Bumi is the newer one. The one I used to fly into way back in the day is Don Muang. And anyway, and Savannah-Bumi is easier because it's south, more south, and far less traffic to get here. So the flight was about 1,400 baht. I think it came out on the credit card at about $45. Unbelievable. But normally I take the taxi, and then I take a taxi from the airport down to here, and that would be about 2,000 baht. So you're talking about $60, right? So altogether we're at 50, 60, 110, and then another 30 for the taxi and Phuket. So you're about at $150 total travel expense. Still not bad. But here's what I did yesterday. There's a bus called Phuket Smart Bus, and so I parked the bike, and it's 100 baht to the airport. It only takes 15 to 30 minutes longer than the taxi. It's very comfortable, air conditioned, free Wi-Fi. The bus has Wi-Fi, and so I got there, and 100 baht. That's $3. Then the flight is $45. And then, instead of the taxi from Savannah-Bumi, I did a bus again, a coach style bus, and that was 150 baht, so 450. So basically, I'm just over $50 for the whole trip here, versus like 150. So I saved $100 by just doing it like the old days, because in the old days, back in the 80s, the buses were how you did it, you know. First of all, there's not a lot of taxis. Now taxis are ubiquitous, right? So I 9.5 hours, and then I go out and I find this pub. The menu strikes me as so kind of American, not an English pub, but more of American style, with just some of the language used. So I chose this mince ground beef, peas, mashed potatoes, and gravy. I'll include a picture in the blog post, so you have to read the blog post to see the picture. It's very cool. Inexpensive, like $6. Then I set out walking, and I shot some video for my next project, which I'll do tomorrow, which is kind of a history of Pattaya from my perspective, since my first time here 36 years ago in 1986, and what it was like then as compared to now. So I walked over 10 kilometers last night. I hit Walking Street, kind of dismal, even compared to Bangla Road and Patong in Phuket. And I know some of you who are going to watch this understand these references. So let's see if you understand this one. So I walked all the way from Walking Street way up to what's called Soi 6. I'll explain that in the next video. It's not something to put in this one. And then I walked all the way back down to an area that was not at all here back in the days when I was coming, but it's way cooler than Walking Street. Walking Street is more for tourists. It's just a money-grubbing hellhole now. Mostly go-go bars. Back, you know, I'll get into this in the next minute. But anyway, the district is called Soy Bacau, and it's fantastic. Really fun, a lot of fun. So that's how I capped off the evening, and luckily it's just like a kilometer from my budget hotel. Now I'm gonna end this, but what's gonna follow is some of the footage that I took this morning, going to get coffee at my morning Americano 7-Eleven, which is just basically right under my hotel. And then I come back and I show you what a budget hotel is like down the alley, up the narrow stairs, and into the room and everything. And the room is, oh, incidentally, yeah, the room is 400 baht per night, which is $12, right? There you go. But it has the essentials. You'll see in the, if you stick around and watch the footage I shot this morning. All right, so I'll leave you with that. And please subscribe and watch all of my videos from start to finish. Please hit like, drop a comment. All right, signing off from Pattaya Beach, Thailand. Well, the first stop on the budget tour here is actually a 7-Eleven. And my room is right up there through this wire mesh. So it's like just a few steps down. So here is my, wait, hang on a second. Where is it here? Here is my 20 baht Americano, 20 baht, which is like 50 cents, something like that. Anyway, and then we'll continue. Here's the inside of the 7-Eleven, where I'm gonna get my second cup of coffee. Pretty standard. All over Thailand. I mean, it's got to be thousands of them. And that's the coffee machine. Makes great Americanos. Okay, with my second Americano in hand to take back, let's head back in the next stop of our, or the next segment of our budget trip. Now, these things are great. It's where you can get morning food. Look at that. Fresh grilled chicken and pork, right at charcoal barbecue right on the back of this scooter thing. These are all over Thailand. Pretty clever, huh? So it's a mobile little thing. They serve all kinds of different stuff on them. Everything you can imagine, right? They can just stop wherever. You will wave them down. Well, of course, she hangs out to do her thing. So this is the perfect budget port sort of hotel. Down an alley, room for rent. Hang on just a second. Clear my nose. And this is where the owner, you will find the owner sitting part of the day. Washing machine if you want to wash your clothes. You don't wear your shoes inside. Pull. Let's pull this open here. Would be much easier without the coffee, but I gotta have the coffee. I was up till 2 a.m. last night and slept very well, and up at 6 a.m. and I noticed right off the balcony, whoa, there's a 7-Eleven. At home I have to drive about a kilometer for my morning Americano. Doom, 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 doom. And I'm down at the end here. Room with a pretty good, well, as good a view as you can hope for, but at least it's not an alleyway view. I'm setting the coffee down. All right. And this is the room. Now, I'll explain here. Well, first, okay, this is the room. The essentials. Air conditioning works excellent. And it's spacious. Typically, you'd get about half this size. And this one has a refrigerator as well. And then you have the toilet, the ubiquitous bum gun, as we call it. Haven't used toilet paper in 2.5 years. It's far better, far superior. It is civilized. And then the shower. Now that's something that wasn't here in the 80s. They didn't have these little heaters. So you had to take a shower from the tap. Close the door here. Sorry. And then I have a go out. There's no furnishings on it, unfortunately, but it is a rather spacious balcony. And here's the view. In a subsequent video, I'll describe the street, how it, and there's a 7-Eleven. I saw that this morning. I'm like, wow, there's my coffee. And it's good coffee. It's excellent. All right. I'll about do it for this segment. Oh, one more thing in this segment is that, see, back in the day, you get a budget hotel like this because I would come here like from Japan for vacation and I'd save it up. So I'd take it a month at a time. I came here 2 or 3 times for a month at a time. So, you know, I was no stranger to nice fancy hotels, but that's for a few days. When you're staying for a whole month, even though Navy officer pay was pretty damn good, plus we got the cost of living allowance for Japan, which was enormous and tax free. Even then, for 30 days in a hotel, you need something more budget, and this is 400 baht per night, which is about $12.